One of the things that I like to do when I am feeling the sads or more depressive, like winter depression, one of my tips is to drink lots of water, but sometimes it just feels nice to make it special for yourself. So I always say, like, treat yourself like you would treat your daughter or your best friend. So if I was going to have people over for dinner, like, I'd want to make a nice infused spa water. So why don't we do that for ourselves, to make ourselves feel taken care of and make ourselves feel special? So I like to do this first thing in the morning before I do anything, stick it into the fridge and then let it infuse, and then I can drink it throughout the day. And because there's so much cucumber, lemon, and lime in it, you can just refill that with water and keep reusing them, like reusing the same carafe throughout the day, and it will keep infusing. It's just a really nice way to make water drinking a little bit more special. Sometimes it can seem like a task, or it just, I don't know, for me, it just makes me feel pampered. And really, you can shove anything in here. I've done this with raspberries. I've done this with herbs, like mint is really nice in here, basil, that sort of thing. So really, like, get creative with it. Mix and match some fun fruits, veggies, herbs, spices. While my water is infusing, I'm just going to whip together a quick breakfast. Lately, I've been obsessed with this tahini toast that I learned how to make. I like to prep my veggies. I'm going to talk a bit about this and how I do this, but on every like Sunday or Monday night, I like to just chop up a bunch of vegetables and have them in my fridge so that they're easy to use. I can easily throw meals together. I like to keep my bread in the freezer. I don't go through a loaf of bread before it goes bad, so I just stick it in the freezer and then take out a piece as I need it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss the vegetables. I'm gonna cut up some tomatoes as well. I always have cherry tomatoes on hand. I'm gonna cut up some of these. I'm going to toss it with lemon and a little bit of salt. Put it on toast with a easy tahini dressing. Now, depending on how many toasts you're making will determine how many vegetables you need to use and how much lemon and salt you're going to need as well. So this is enough for one piled high toast. I like to add just a little bit of lemon juice. I like to put it through a strainer just so that you don't get any seeds or any of the pulp. I have a weird thing with pulp, so I like to do that. Don't judge me. Salt. Okay, to make our tahini dressing, this is enough for like 3 mornings. I wouldn't keep it in the fridge for longer than that, and it's just me, but if you have like a family of 4 or there's 2 of you, you can double this. I just take half a cup of water. Then all you need is half a cup of tahini. Now I have whole sesame, so that's the whole sesame seed with the shell, and then the just regular like shelled stuff that you can buy. But I like to mix both. Oh, also fun tip that I learned in Israel. If you just pop a hole, you get a little squeeze bottle. This is everything. It's so good. So depending on if you like a lot of lemon juice or not, I like to start with 1 tablespoon. Give it a good whisk. Now it's going to look like it's separating. Just keep going. Just keep going until it's soft. Now, when you put this in the fridge overnight, it will harden up. So your first day of using it, it's gonna be a little bit liquidy. But then by tomorrow, it's going to be more like almost like a hummusy consistency. It's like an avocado toast, but with tahini and a salad on top. It's so good. And then I just like to garnish it with some parsley. You can also use cilantro if you're into that. We have these delicious toasts. I'm going to eat my breakfast before I take a shower. But one of the things that I find that goes out the window, first of all, when you're sad or depressed, is like your personal hygiene and taking care of yourself. For me anyway, if I'm in a really depressed place, that's the thing that goes out the window. So I try really hard in the winter to take care of myself, take care of my new hair, because I paid for this and I want it to look nice. And that's why I love the brand that I'm partnering with today. Function of Beauty is today's sponsor. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. I genuinely love this product. With new hair comes new responsibility, comes new hair products. Function of Beauty, if you guys have never heard of them before, they are completely customizable hair care products. So I have a shampoo, a conditioner, and a hair mask. They are completely animal friendly, meaning that they're cruelty free, they're completely vegan. And if you're like me and you like to do really fun things with your hair, you come to learn really quickly that it is difficult to find a shampoo because hair is not like a one size fits all situation. So for me, I have colored hair, but I also have like really processed hair from, you know, lightening my hair for years. So it's a little bit dry, it's a little bit frizzy, it's lost some of its luster because I've been coloring it for so long. So for me, I needed something really specific, especially since I have pink hair now as well. I filled out, it was like a 2-minute survey. It talks about your hair goals. So for me, for example, it was, you know, it was dull, it was dry, it was processed. I wanted to keep the color, but I also wanted, you know, to keep healthy ends and prevent split ends and make sure it's like nice and luminous and lustrous and shiny. And what they do is they take that survey and then they create a formula that's specific to you. So you can pick everything from, you'll see that these are pink, to the color and the fragrance. Or for me, because I'm super sensitive to fragrances, I have to use scent-free or no fragrance products in my home. So you can also pick from a variety of different hair care products. I decided to go with the hair mask. So this will moisturize my hair. It keeps my color intact. And for me, that's exactly what I need. All right, so I had my shower, put on my lipstick, washed my hair. So normally when I take a shower, do a mask, I blow dry my bangs. I blow dry my hair until I let it air dry a little bit and then I blow dry it. As you can see, like it's like luscious and soft and shiny, and I wanted to give you guys an accurate representation of what it looks like. So my any day like wash and wear hair, this is what I would do, and I think it speaks for itself. Like I'm kind of obsessed with it. And my bangs are so straight and they fall so nicely with that conditioner. I don't even have to curl my bangs out. I love it. If you guys want to try out this product, test it out for yourself, make your own custom personalized shampoo, click the link in the description box down below and you will get 20% off if you use that link. You can just wash and wear your hair like I did. Now, typically I don't wear makeup every day, but if I am having a particularly sad day, it's gloomy outside, I just want to feel good about myself, I do put makeup on for me. So I find that when I have to put makeup on, I really don't like doing it. I see it as a chore. But if I do it for me and I can experiment a little bit or just like not even do much, just like add some lipstick, it definitely helps with my mood. But I wanted to kind of share with you guys some tips and tricks for how I kind of fight that seasonal affective disorder, seasonal depression. So I've been doing a couple emails here and there, but as you can see, I'm sitting on my sofa. So one of my first tips for kind of combating the winter sads is to try and do as much of your work or try to organize your life as much as you can around the sun. So I move out of my tired, dark office and I like to do my emails or any of my writing here on my sofa because I'm right next to a window. I would suggest trying to get 30 minutes of outdoor time, even when it's really cold. Try and do something like walk your dog a little bit longer or walk to the store and get something instead of ordering Uber Eats. Like try to get as much of that sunshine as possible. Or if it's really cold like it is in Canada, just try to do things near a window. The other thing I like to do is take about 15 minutes of my day to cleaning and tidying. So clutter, especially visual clutter, it kind of subconsciously brings up your stress hormones. So it creates a distraction in your brain, which raises your cortisol levels and it makes you really distracted very easily. So it's harder for you to focus. It's harder for you to keep on task. So I like to just make sure that I'm taking at least 15 minutes of my day just to tidy up some of the clutter, take out the garbage, make my bed. Okay, so I did a little bit of work. So I have this crock pot. It's a pressure cooker and a slow cooker. I like to just prepare a soup that's going to be cooking in the background, and so that tonight when I'm hungry, I have something ready to go. So if you're skipping meals because you're depressed, which I often do, you actually make your brain more irritable and you get tired because you have no energy. So I like to make sure that I plan my meals on like a Sunday or a Monday for the entire week, and then I like to chop those vegetables so that I have everything ready to go. So I have like chopped carrot. For my dinner, which I'm going to make now so that it's ready in like 4 hours, is a lasagna soup. So it's all the comfort of a lasagna, just with the ease of a soup. So I'm just heating up oil and adding garlic, onions, carrots that I already had chopped, celery that I already had chopped, and mushrooms, and this is great. So planning ahead, meal prepping your meals just makes it really easy. So this will not only be my dinner tonight, but it's going to be my dinner over like the next few days. And also if I get sick of it or I just want it 2 days in a row, I can freeze the rest and then have it next week. And you just want to cook this the same way you would in a pot for a normal soup, just you're doing it in an instant pot. Oh, and onions. So again, cut a bunch of onions, keep it in the fridge, and then you can just use these ingredients to make different meals. I will probably use a lot of the same ingredients to make my lunch, but the ingredients will be similar, but the flavor profile is going to be completely different. For the tomato base, I'm going to use tomato, just 1 can, so 128-ounce can is fine. And then for me, personally, when I make lasagna, I like to use passata. But if you don't have access to that in your local grocer, which you should in either like the pasta section, or if you have like an international section, sometimes it's in the more Italian food side. And all it is strained tomatoes that are not cooked. So it just gives a fresher, more vibrant flavor to them. But I like to add 1 of each. Okay, so now for the lasagna part of it, again, like warm, comforting meals. Is there anything warmer and more comforting than pasta? No. Just break them up and toss them in. Okay, so we've got our noodles in there. Add the spinach. And then I'm going to pressure cook this guy, and then we'll be ready for dinner. All right, so welcome to winter in Canada, where it is bleak, dark, gray, dreary, cold, and you're in the dark at all times, which is why we're making this video. I have prepped my dinner, so that's cooking behind the scenes, but I'm hungry now, so I need to make some lunch. So I just grabbed a bunch of stuff that I have in the fridge. So as I said before, I like to meal prep a lot of different things. Not even meal prep, just like prep vegetables. Cook beans. Cook quinoa in advance, vegetables, and use a lot of things that are just left over. So I have some like refried beans that I've just heated up in the microwave. I have just some beans that I cook with onion and garlic. So what I'm thinking for lunch is like just a bowl situation, like a grain bowl. So I like to make the base kind of half greens, half grains. I am going to add some quinoa. I'm going to add some of these beans. So I like to keep them in the cooking liquid because if I want them for like a soup, then I have a nice liquid nutritious broth here. But for this, I'm just gonna drain them, toss them with the quinoa, which I'll just use. And then it's almost like a rice and peas situation, but you're using like a Jamaican rice and peas kind of vibes, but you're using quinoa and black beans. It makes my OCD really happy to style things this way. And it just makes my lunch a lot prettier. I'll do that. So then I feel like, I don't know, it's a little self-care treat. I mean, if you're going to make food pretty when you cook it for somebody else, why don't you do it when you cook it for yourself? I like to have some raw elements and some cooked elements. So there's lots of different textures, some heat, some raw. So you get a nice balance. So I've got some tomatoes. I had some guac left over. Now I'm going to, right next to the guac, add some salsa. And then you have just like a bright, balanced, super easy to throw together because you thought ahead and you chopped all your stuff before. And you can eat however you want. You can do like a little scoop of this, a little scoop of that. And it changes every day just depending on what you have, what you feel like. I'm gonna add a little bit of guac and a little bit of salsa. I also find that when I eat these types of foods as opposed to eating traditional comfort foods when I'm feeling poopy, something that's bright and vibrant and again kind of reminds me of like spring and summer and warmer times will definitely help my mood as well. All right, guys, I did some work. I hit up a yoga class. Staying active as much as you possibly can during this month is so important because it definitely elevates your mood. All right, so this is the soup that we made earlier in the day. It is so warm and comforting and wonderful. I have a spoon and a fork to eat this soup because some of the noodles are quite large. You can also add some cheese on top, like some vegan cheese. I just like threw on a couple different like remainders of different types that I had, so it makes it nice and creamy and delicious. One of my favorite soups for the winter. There's nothing more comforting than a lazy lasagna. I am going to eat my dinner. I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna watch some Netflix. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you again to Function of Beauty for sponsoring today's video. Do make sure that you check out the link in the description box below so you can get 20% off your first order. And I will see you next time. Bye.